I'd like to get across to you all right now this raw feeling that I have. And that is that skeptics in America get fucking robbed by all of the people that believe in spirits and God and hocus pocus and magic and fucking woo woo and all that shit. We get fucking robbed because while we spend most of our time thinking rationally, those that spend a lot of their time in fantasy land, when it suits them, they get to come into the real world and enjoy the things that those of us who spend most of our time being rational create. Most of what I'm talking about here are the fruits of science, but also other technologies that build upon themselves that have nothing to do with fucking magic. For instance, this cell phone right here in my hand, where I'm playing Angry Birds, the game that is highly addictive. Don't recommend anyone start if you haven't, because it's like smoking. I don't think anyone who does it gives it a good review, as far as whether or not you should start. This cell phone right here was not in any prophecy in the Bible at all. Nowhere in the Bible does it say anything close to cell phones existing. It's like search as hard as you can. You're not going to find any passage that says, "And ye shall talk into rocks with glowing screens, and you will be able to hear people around the world." No, it doesn't say that. No television is mentioned in the Bible. No microscope is mentioned in the Bible. The prophecies in the Bible are very limited. They seem to be limited by the knowledge of people living thousands of years ago. So their predictive power past that very small view of the world is shit. Okay? One of my favorite things to point out about the Bible, I love the story of Noah because it is so fucking ridiculous. And I love to point out that, if Noah had to save every animal on the planet that, would have died if it were left out in the flood, he would have had to save all of the germs that live inside all of those organisms he was saving. Because there's a lot of diseases or even symbiotic germs that sometimes are present, sometimes aren't, that would have to be saved and stored in just the animals that he saved, either the pair or the 7 pair of that type of animal. But even just among the human diseases, he would have had to given his wife Ebola, and he would have had to given his daughter Clapagon fucking syphilades, right? Or else all of those diseases would have been washed off the earth because they don't live outside of the human body. We know this from fucking science, right? So I'm reading this article, and it's about Pope Benedict using Twitter for the first time, bringing the magic world, the fantasy of the Catholic Church, into the fucking internet and onto people's fucking cell phones. And no one fucking getting these tweets, these 20,000 people that signed up in one fucking day because they heard the Pope was tweeting now. None of them fucking realize that, hey, the Bible never mentioned that we'd have cell phones. it doesn't seem to register, that there is no more predictive power left in the fucking Bible. Even the accounts of Armageddon in Revelation, do they really strike you as what would happen if we actually enacted the mutually assured destruction of launching nuclear missiles at each other? The visions in the Bible are limited by what was known. And that says a lot. And that science keeps on finding new great things. And the people that live in magical fucking fantasy land get to use these things all the fucking time and then co-opt them and twist them to get other people to believe in magic when these fruits were not born of that fucking magic. It pisses me off a lot. So, link in the description box if you want to read about the Pope sending his first tweet on Twitter.